game number one. Let's talk about Erangel. This plane path, not the least friendly we've ever seen.
No.
But if this is a north shift circle, oh, it's gonna be traffic.
I'm not even worried about that. I'm more worried about the south shift circle because I feel I gave Wildcard a little bit of shade. I should probably give them a little bit of love in return in my own special way. They are consistently, I feel, on the back foot when they're coming in late. And so, yes, they have to drive all the way up to Severny, and this circle is actually pretty good for them because they can hopefully quickly find vehicles around Rozhok where they're landing just east of it, where all these roads cross together, drive up to Severny, loot up super quickly, and then find a place on the hill just south of shooting range. My question is, though, could they might want to consider for future games, for future events, of finding a different loot spot on Erangel. But Acer, this is a good start. Grabbing a little bit of DMR, can't quite get the full knock, but he has a second chance and he has teammates that all have guns. This is awful for Alpha Legends.
Okay, Drops finds a mini with a scope and an AKM.
They don't get a knock.
And they don't, well, I mean, that just would have put him out of the sky. That just would have been a terrible start for Alpha. They were just given, Alpha Legends was just given a gift. And you know how you're talking about you were going to give Wildcard some love? Maybe don't now, because I know those are hard shots to hit, but you're literally
not that hard.
You're literally one of the best players. Yeah, they were like stacked on top of each other. I think maybe I could have hit one of those, you know, and I'm not good at shooting in this game. Okay, if I'm being fully honest, it's real. The fact that
they
these
had
guys
like 2 or 3 guns.
They did
towards the last couple of parachutes.
Yeah, not ideal. All right, Wildcard, shake that off. If you're Alpha Legends, take a sigh of relief. Get back into this game. Drive up to Severny. Reset a little bit here. But game number one is already off to a start. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it's only a couple of seconds, but Wildcard didn't get anything out of just stalling, taking those shots. And that's only going to slow down their loot rotation a little bit. It's these things, they add up. We talked about the other day, a 1 second, 2 second tier can really add up and change an entire game for a team. And when Wildcard, they really need, I think, to feel comfortable in a game to be center, to not come in late. And this is the perfect circle for them from their loot position. What's not good, though, is for B4. However, this is a team that is used to coming in late as well, and they don't seem to be tripped up about it because they look for opportunities to take those aggressive fights. They're not like loops where they will every single time choose, despite having an entrance to the center, pick closer towards the edge in order to farm kills. But I mean, come on, they have, both those teams do still have similar play styles, and they will both go for kills when they find the opportunity.
Oh, for sure. And I think it's interesting that the two teams who tend to like to eat the blue and light rotate are Footballists and B4, and they're the ones who have dropped down around military and in Novo. So I think they're going to be fine to wait a little bit longer. Konina Power, potentially SWAT 69 or Nova respectively, could play Gatekeeper on the other side of the bridge, but I don't think that's going to be a huge factor. But a team, I called them out a little bit. I know it's because, and again, if I call out a team, it's because I have high expectations, because I know these guys are stars. Tempo, of course, just chilling at Pachinki. This is their spot. Nobody contests it anymore because they know that if you fight Tempo early here, 9 times out of 10, Tempo is going to win that fight. They have taken so many of those over the course of scrims. Teams trying to hot drop them, teams trying to get a little cheeky, that they win those almost always. So they're going to be in a great spot for this next circle, and we'll see if they can continue to have some success in Pachinki if the circle rotates there, or just have some success today, because again, they're in 4th place, but they could be doing better.
Footballists right now, this is a very interesting decision that a team would have to make, because they actually landed on their loot spot before anyone else, just looking at where their playing path was, where they're looting up in Novo, and so they could actually begin, I'm assuming that they're looted up enough to begin to move now. The problem is, they're not going to have, even if they move faster than anyone else, they have to move a further distance. They're not going to have priority in the center of the circle at all. So do you really just want to squeeze out Novo like a sponge, grab every single piece of loot that you can? Because in a way, if they move too fast, they also could come into contact with a team in Milta, which is going to be Konina Power. It's these sort of things that you have to have in the back of your mind, but yes, loops. This is a great spot for them to take. The cube compound is a great spot to just hold teams out, try and catch people on rotation, and that's what the Knights are doing as well. Yeah, Pittsburgh Knights. We've been kind of quiet about them so far. I didn't really get a chance to talk about them much going into the day. Of course, they're going to be playing with Jagger. Again, another player we have a lot of experience commentating. He's been a part of this roster forever.
one of the OG members of Pittsburgh Knights, joining us here on the world stage. And let's see if PK, I mean, they've been one of these teams, again, that's sort of like, where does a team peak over the course of this? They were starting to get things together. We'll see if they can continue to keep that forward momentum, even with making a roster shift. So definitely need to keep my eye on them for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting situation for them. It's almost they just got their feet under them, it feels like. They just finally got the chemistry all aligned. And then a roster change happens. Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. I'm not going to... I think they definitely have the potential. I actually think that Jagger, in his own right, is a really stellar player. I think he's maybe not as flashy as others, but is definitely really a little more consistent. He still hits his shots, and he's an OG when it comes to this PK roster. So I think that having that familiar presence on the team is like to bring in somebody totally different.
Yeah,
I think it's still going to be a stabilizing factor for them here. But I just really need to see Carnage step up for that squad. I mean, it's so like, he's a big guy, but he's got this quiet, calm personality. When you talk to him in real life, he's just such a nice guy. I need to see him be big and loud here on the map. I need to see him make that presence felt. And somebody who's feeling a little bit of a presence now is Yala Esports, taking some shots from Team Umbra. Umbra, you had a bit of an awakening yesterday, Cameron. They were just looking for fights. It was great to see.
I mean, that's the first thing that you need to do when you're a team that's struggling. You can't, if points aren't coming to you by just your regular gameplay, you got to go out looking for them, and that's what they're doing right now. It's a full surround onto Zana, and Yala once again in a really, really rough situation. I feel like we see this all the time. A good nade's going to finish him off, but I don't think the rest of Yala is going to be in any situation to punish Umbra for this push. I'm looking at where they are on the map. They're just to the east of this position. They're too far away, though. I just don't think the sightlines are there. What? Oh, it was a smoke. I thought it was a grenade. Okay, the shots are coming in.
He's setting up the smokes so that he can loot him. But he's
the shots. Okay, yeah. So Yala were able to find a sight line. The shots are there. It's going to be too risky. I wouldn't loot up just one box for this. And yeah, you can see Zero's specific angle that he's holding right now.
They're making a lot of noise, and you can see Tempo Storm off on the angle as well. So they may look to third party on this, but Yala Esports losing to somebody early. Not an ideal situation, and Yala is definitely one of these teams that we need to see do well coming into the day in 15th place, only able to get a handful of kills yesterday. I truly mean a handful, like 10 on the day. Their game number one started off well. They had 6 kills, finished in 6th place. We'll see if they can replicate that here on Erangel, but of course, it is going to be so much harder to do with only 3 players.
I like this split by Nova. A little 2-2 split on the north of Pachinki, but more shots coming in from Konina Power. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Football is moving in, and Konina Power didn't move so far into the circle that they have an opportunity for a couple of shots. Luckily, it wasn't a full camp. It was more, those shots looked more shots of opportunity, and Football's had more than enough room to move around and get away from that, but the circle is going to center up. It's not going to affect anyone too much. So many teams really aren't going to move at all, but the teams that were maybe hoping that a hardship towards the north would put the north of the river in play, they're going to have to cross through, and this is where Loop's bridge camp comes into play.
That was huge. Ayala is already down, and now Carrillo is continuing to put the pressure in with the DP. Just a hail of fire. And now Mystic is caught out in no man's land. Oh, I can't believe he was able to survive through that. But now Dadine is trying to find an angle and is able to do so with the grenade as well. Such good coordination from Loops. The distraction on one side while the nade goes through, continuing to finish it off. That is 2 kills now for Loops Esports to start this game.
I think there's going to be a third. I don't know if Marco's going to be able to get his way out of this. He has no vehicle. He's on foot. And Wildcard, they crossed in on the left bridge, but Nova, they also have an opportunity. They haven't had to move at all. They're taking advantage of a team that's just pushing in. Dream Eaters, again, not able to find a position. First the Knights, and now Nova.
And you were complimenting Nova's 2-2 split, Cameron. You were talking about how you like this running with this buddy system. I'm a huge fan of it as well, and we're kind of seeing it now. They did bring it together a little bit more, but what's great about this is you're still able to find these off angles, but you're not putting yourself out too far. You have somebody to still back you up. So you work these flanks, work these angles, but not only do you have weight of fire, you also have somebody there to support you, and I'm really liking this decision from Nova Esports, and Dream Eaters is in a rough spot, but the kill feed is starting to light up already here. Game number 1, only 10 minutes in, multiple players have gone down.
There is a little bit of pressure on Nova here to clear out Dream Eaters, because if this position stays in the game for too much later, it could become an issue for them. But for right now, they have more than enough room to take them out, just like Alpha Legends are taking out Footballists. Football is still unable to find a position. I don't know how this fight started, but Rom, he's coming in to try and protect and potentially revive his teammates. But hiding behind a Dacia like this, and his teammates all out in the open, I'm assuming they were shot out of vehicles. Alpha Legends have such a good angle.
Yeah, Old Man looking to continue to confirm this kill. Alpha Legends is pushing in. They were given, again, a bit of a gift at the start of this game. Wildcard not confirming those kills. Let's see what they can do with the gift that was offered them. Kato is way off on the flank, though. We'll see how they opt to play this. And Old Man is finally going to confirm this. But we'll see how far they're willing to push. It actually just seems like the rest of Footballists are just going to try and relocate his realm. Everyone else is leaving as another fight's breaking up. This time it's between Wildcard and Pittsburgh Knights. The action does not stop here in game number 1 for the West. These teams like to scrap, and we're seeing it here. As Acer going to look to try and find the nade. Not going to be able to do so. Is cooked well. As Pittsburgh Knights is definitely in a bit of trouble here. Sam and Spring on the flank. Slicky up close. Slicky is one of these players who just hits his shots. I don't care if it's close. I don't care if it's far. He gets it done. And PK, I think they know this because they are just going to run. They have to try and reset this fight, Cameron.
They're bailing, but Raven, once again, is leaving way too late. I feel like he's always a little bit of the slacker in terms of driving away, and he's going to get caught out. No knock just yet. Oh, there it is. J7 does go down as well. There was a bit late of a rotation for the entire team overall. This the pressure from Wildcard's 2 players on the north side. Just they didn't feel comfortable in that fight despite having a man advantage in the close quarters. And here comes Sam and Slicky up close, fully taking this compound away from the Knights. Trying to give it up, but they're going to be wounded. That nade looked good, but not good enough. It's going to be Slicky on the flank.
Oh, man, and this is another time that we see Pittsburgh Knights try desperately, scrambling to get the res, and it costs them so much. More players being thrown into the meat grinder. Carnage, though, the player I called to step up, to make his presence felt, actually goes on a wild flank with the vehicle, takes out 1 member of Wildcard. So now Acer's got to try and deal with this. 3 members, though, are down for PK, and I don't think Carnage is going to continue this. No, they are just going to sacrifice these kills on over to Wildcard. They struck back a little bit, but once again, PK's in a situation where 1 player is tasked with staying alive.
Yeah, and it's usually not even Carnage that's in that, so I don't know what to expect of his snaking abilities. As if it's J7 or Raven, I'd have a little more confidence, but he's having to drive through ruins as well onto a medium ship. It's not the best. It's gone from bad to worse for the Knights, but B4 is sitting on top, overlooking SWAT 69. Footballists do go down in the meantime.
Oh.
Actually, a good flank from N7R.
Yeah, and that nade, oh my goodness, Levi's got to be careful, but now Pedro is going for a flank of his own. Down towards Squad 69, BRT is taken down. Beautiful shots from Pedro, the man who's always off on his own. Not necessarily somebody I'd vote for in some of these situations, but he's stepping up today. He's trying to win that vote back. And now N7R, the last man standing for SWAT 69, the team that has so much to prove. They barely squeaked into our super weekend, and they need to make more than just a squeak here in these 15 games. They need to be loud. They need to show up. And this is their opportunity to do it. If they can stabilize here, if they can win against B4 Esports, that would be a huge boost to their morale.
Pedro took way too long to decide if he wanted to revive his teammate or go for the full wipe. And now look, there's multiple players up. Carnage does go down. That's 2 teams out so far. But SWAT 69, the indecision by Pedro gives them a little bit of a lifeline, and they're going to get all 4 players up. Yes, B4, I think, are going to stay as 2. Yeah, okay, so Levi was revived. He was in the process of first aiding right then. And the nades are now coming out, but is it all too late? B4, they see an opportunity to retreat, so they're not going to get the team up. They're not going to get the points. I say that, Pedro. Okay, I'm done. I don't know what they're going to be playing at this point. Are they going to fight? Are they going to leave? Who knows?
I think part of the problem is, Cameron, they don't know. And you talked about the indecision. That's costing them so much here. They have a great angle. It's these steps, these sort of series of ascending rises is going to do a lot for B4 here. And look at the circle. They know they have SWAT 69 pinned. Maybe, just maybe, if they can use this to their advantage, if they can play these angles well, they can find it. But with the smokes going in from SWAT 69, they're trying to create as many possible angles as they can. And now, Pedro, it's sort of a one-man army. Where is his teammate? Okay. Levi is there, and they are finding this. This might actually be a great opportunity for B4. If they can win this 2v4, that would be massive for them. SWAT 69 is pushing and continuing up the hill. They do have the slight angle on the blue, and Pedro needs to hit his shots. There's 1 down. Can he find Blue Fly? Yes, there's 2. Pedro making up for it earlier. 1 last shot. Can he do it? Yes, the 2v4, basically a 1v4 as Pedro goes off. All right, buddy, you get my vote.
Yep, that's it. That's why he let SWAT 69 revive the entire team, because he wanted to make a highlight reel for himself. I get it. I understand. I get it. We all need those social media interactions. It's part of the industry. They use the blue and the high ground.
I just got to get those impressions. I can't blame the man. Oh, my goodness. Acer. Nerves of steel, Cameron. Oh, my goodness. Become the bush. Become the bush.
But what else can you do?
Nothing.
There's a point in your PUBG playing career that you stop getting nervous in situations like that because there is no other option. It's just full-on euphoria. But yeah, it's not a good position for Wildcard either. It's not a good position for a lot of these teams, but this hard shift over towards the northeast, while we see a replay of Pedro really giving it to Task. And you can see that it's not just the high ground that's at his advantage, it's also the blue. I was worried about this shift because both these teams would need to clean up this fight as quickly as possible. But of course, the blue pushing in and actually being inside the blue, dealing that tick damage, made it worse for SWAT 69.
I will laugh so hard if they accidentally run him over with one of these vehicles. Never mind, that's not going to have a chance at all, because the third party is coming in from Loops Esports, and now Yalla, they've just been hearing gunshot upon gunshot from up this hill. They're just wondering what is going on. They're seeing Tempo Storm, they're seeing Wildcard, they're seeing Loops, and they're just staring on going, oh boy, something is happening. And it is, because now that Loops have got that first down, Cameron, what are they doing?
They're pushing. They do what they do best, and this is a great position for them to clean up these kills if they can land the shots. But Loops are the team that I would give it to them 9 times out of 10, maybe even 10. Who knows? Well, that fight against Nova makes me question that a little bit. But nonetheless, they're going for the push. They're going aggressive, and look how open this is. We've criticized this plateau so many times. This sort of, I forget what you call it, the steps, whatever. Doesn't matter. Oh, the overlook. There it is. Loops are pushing in. Spec spots it. There's a player that pushes past. I don't know if Chaosi's going to see him. Yes, he does.
Oh my goodness, Spec getting a little bit cheeky there, letting the one player go by to try and come up with some sick play, but then Kayowski rotates in as well. Now Korea was able to push, but Dream Eater's potentially coming in on the flank as well. Another team might join in the fray. Dadine though, Dadine playing scout, but taking a lot of damage in the process, giving so much intel over to the team. What a play with the vehicle. The Dacia goes in. He spots out exactly where everyone is, but Dream Eater's coming in on the flank, and Rain, pinpoint accuracy with these grenades, taking a coup from Footballists as Loops Esports, as Dadine's able to pick that one up. Tensa trying to get himself down as well. Actually finds 2. That's another one down. Tensa, Big Daddy Tensa to start the day off well, trying to do something for Tempo Storm here. 1 down, 1 dead. Oh no!
Yep, that was the worry. The minute I saw Kayowski prep that grenade, I knew that it was up for Tensa. Those shots, yes, he got it down. Yes, he confirmed a kill for an extra point. But now he just gave his position away. And that push by Loops was so beautiful to watch. Communication is so important in this game. And when it's that much action going on, you need to be able to deliver information in a quick, concise way that the rest of your team understands. But more than that, you just have to be on the same wavelength. They all knew what was going on. There was only so much time there for the information to be given over, for the plays to be decided. They just did it by pure instinct.
Yeah, that seems so coordinated. Like Dadine, no hesitation, goes in for the vehicle spin, points out, okay, he's behind that rock and he's over there. He's able to instantly relay that to his team. And now they're continuing to take a fight against C9. Like, they do not stop. They do not slow down. They are a juggernaut on Erangel to start off this game as the rest of these teams are rotating in. This is a bit of a hard shift to the northeast, just southwest of school. And now Alpha Legends has eyes on Konina Power. We'll see if they decide to take the shot.
Alpha Legends, they've been playing this game a little differently from the previous, a lot of the other teams. Part of that is because of their drop position and the way the circles have gone, and they have a little more area to play with, not like the west side, where it's a lot of teams pushing in. Easter, that wipe onto Tensa gave him a little bit of a life raft. A little bit of a floaty, let's call it. It's like the water wings. It's not a full-on, like what are the red and striped little donuts. It's a little bit of a water wing. I say that, I think he's actually getting a little bit of trouble. He gets a knock against Loops, though.
Now C9 does clean him up. That is going to be wildcard eliminated. C9, they had a few players down, but we're continuing to take these fights. Now Konina Power and Alpha Legends, the fight is breaking out here. A lot of these teams in sort of the middle of the pack. Oh, Gonzo! My goodness, just pops right behind that rock, just like the Reaper of Death coming on in. The sickle goes down, and Loops Esports is also eliminated 8th place, despite getting quite a few kills. They just took too many different fights. Got a little bit scared because C9 got the knock, and then they just rotated in too far, didn't get the scouting down. And oh my goodness, not an ideal situation for them. The teams that were able to get in early had a little bit of circle luck, doing so well right now. Team Unique, Alpha Legends, Konita Power, whoever can win this fight now, Cameron, is probably set up to win this entire game.
I worry about Konita Power because Alpha Legends, they only have one direction that they need to look, that they need to protect themselves from. Konita Power, they're kind of in the middle of everything. That is, of course, if Unique can be able to finish out Yala. Yala, who have been able to stay alive in this game for quite a while, despite losing an early player, but how long is that going to last? The nades are coming in, the shots are coming in, and now it's all on to Anas. Is he going to try and revive Zero? The Blues pushing in, too.
And this is not in the next playable zone. Zero's got to try and rotate around. The nades are continuing to fly. Continuing as Anas has got to get in with the smoke. Almost goes down, but lives to fight another day, at least for a few moments longer.
More nades coming out from Unique. It's punished a little bit, but no knock, at least onto the players in the building. And Elise, of course, is bleeding out just on the exterior. And Nova actually going for the aggressive push. It's outside of the circle, but they need to clear out Unique first before they can focus on anything else in the game. And more nades come on through.
This is the Nova Esports we wanted to see. Great coordination, stellar nades. The perfect push. One player sitting back to try and continue to hold the angle, giving intel to the teams that are pushing on in. The players, they're trying to rally. G-Fan on the outside, though. The way he's rotating, he gave up the high ground position. Lightning sitting in the cheeky spot up here on the outside. They do find him, though. They've been there before. They know exactly how that plays out. And Nova Esports lighting up in a way we have never seen them before. Team Unique is down, and now they have that compound. They're looking to be in a pretty darn good spot.
When I said that Alpha Legends had the advantage in this fight against Konita, that was only for the previous circle. Now that the circle has shifted away from both of them, it's all on them to move forward, and they've lost 2 players. Konita Power still have 4 up. That is, they can revive Gonzo. A good grenade leaves it all up to Shay, so he's going to go for the revive, and he has enough time to do so. But is Tixie going to punish?
That is the big question. Tixie, of course, being one of these top fraggers for this squad.
Oh no, it was a heal strat.
Yep. Oh, they're just going to commit through. But the nades from Nova. Oh, my goodness. They do not stop. Anas looking to try and get involved, but I think he's actually giving... I don't even think they realized anybody was out there. Unless they'd already took shots at him before, he might have actually been able to survive a little bit longer, Cameron. I'm not sure if I love this decision from him. He's just one player.
It's a lot. He's got to move forward. I do agree, though. It's the same situation that we saw with Easter from Wildcard, who even actually got a kill onto Loops because Loops had no idea. But Anas prepping the grenade. He knows where HCL is. I think it was cooked well, but it does land well. Doesn't get the knock, unfortunately. And is he gonna resign himself to heal stratting the same way that Alpha Legends were?
I don't think he's got a ton of a choice here. I think the second that nade went off, I probably would have pushed on the back of it, tried to force him out to the left, maybe try and get a shot of my own. Through that, the bounce is not going to go over the wall. G-Fan is there. They've pinned him, and he's just going to deny to the blue. Not a bad decision there. All in all. Again, maybe could have played that a little bit slower, unless Nova had already taken the shot. We don't have all the intel on that one. Maybe that was the best decision he could have made. In either case, he got Yala Esports to 4th place.
Now it's all between Konita Power and Nova, and how long Pyra can stay alive. Konita Power do have the high ground.
I cannot believe Pyra's still in this. They lost Bayos early. They lost
that's
early.
So Konita Power have the high ground, but they have very little cover compared to Nova, and they do have Pyra right next to them, who, again, like Acer from Wildcard, like Anas from Yala, could be a complete, just a knife in the side of Konita Power. He already gets one.
Ooh, I think that outstretched arm actually got tagged by one of those shots, but they're going to know he's there now. And Rob taking a bit of damage. Pyra deciding he wants to thirst that kill. Getting involved. This is great. If you're a fan of Nova Esports. Oh, but they do take him down. Pyra survives. Get another point. Gets those placements. Cloud9, game number 1. Cameron, you called it. They are always impressive.
Yeah, they're always impressive on Aaron Girl unless it's the last game, because I think at that point, they're tired, they're sleepy, they got stuff to do.
Mm-hmm. They're still long. Eventually, you're just like, it's game number 5. My thumbs are sore. What can you do?
But what's also good is seeing Nova in the end game. We've criticized their macro abilities, but when they are in the final position where it's all about the fighting, then they become a completely different team. And not only do they have the circle in their favor, they have the manpower, and they have the positioning. Cat going on the wide flank, doesn't want to give Actor any chance.